Alright guys, it is time for MLB The Show 22. In this video, we are going to cover the best choices that you guys can make in the pre-order packs that you get from the game. So we're going to break down what the best cover athlete cards are to choose, as well as the best selections you can make in the Takashi Okazaki pack. If you guys are looking for beginner tips, the best things that you can do in MLB The Show 22 to give yourself the best head start possible, make sure you bang that subscribe button. Alright, let's get into the video. Alright guys, first things first, if you guys are unable to find your pre-order packs, here is where you locate them in the Diamond Dynasty screen. All you've got to do is go over to the shop by hitting R1, and you will see packs, and when you click on open packs, it will show your pre-order selections. The one thing I do need to mention is if you are not seeing them, just log out and log back in, and you should see them just fine. It does seem to take a few times once you're actually into the game for them to show up, but don't worry, it took a few times for me as well. So just keep trying, and eventually you will see all of the pre-order packs there. Alright guys, so let's start first with the cover athlete choice pack. As you can see here, I selected the MLB The Show 06 David Ortiz cover athlete card, and I'm not gonna lie, this is a personal favorite of mine. David Ortiz, A, was a phenomenal card for me last year, and B, my favorite player of all time. So this was kind of a no-brainer for me, but I want to talk about the best choice that you guys can make because I don't really think it's David Ortiz's card. As you'll go through, the one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is that you want to select a player that is going to give you the most longevity, okay? So there is a lot of outfielders that you're going to be able to choose from. So outfielders kind of take a hit, in my opinion, in this pack because I really don't think that you're going to have Ken Griffey Jr., for example, in your lineup for very long. I will say that Ken Griffey Jr. swings and cards play very, very good, but I'm just giving you an example there. All right, let's go over probably the safest option, and that's Shohei Ohtani. He's a very good pitcher. He's got a great, decent hits per nine, as well as in the top right, you see he's got an okay pitch mix as well. He's got a really hard fastball at 96 miles an hour, a slider, a splitter, cutter, and a curveball. You will see some of the more important pitches to have throughout the year. I'm going to have a video that will break down the exact pitches that you want to focus on and the ones that are really going to do a lot of damage for you. But when you go and look at his pitch control, it's pretty low. The four-seam fastball is at 58. His splitter isn't bad at 78. And then his pitch break, unbelievable on the splitter, but everything else is, kind of all over the place. So he's not an absolutely elite pitcher by any means, but he does have great hitting stats as well. So you throw him in your lineup as your starting pitcher, and you're going to be able to mash. You'll have a very big leg up when obviously your pitcher comes up to the plate, and you're going to be able to launch nukes as your opponent, uses someone maybe like Randy Johnson, who doesn't have very good hitting stats at all. So just something to keep in mind here. This is a really safe option in my opinion, but there will be a lot of Shohei Ohtanis that are really good. So I think that, this one, again, just safe. Going through the cover athletes, we've got the Joe Mauer from MLB The Show 10. This Joe Mauer card is very good in terms of contact. Really good contact, 104 against righties, 90s against lefties, and then obviously the power down low. There is a couple of decent starter catchers that are pretty good in the game. That's the only downfall here. He can play first base as well, but there's a lot of good first basemen too. So I would probably avoid Joe Mauer in this case, unless you're a fan. Obviously, always take your favorite player. But that being said, I think there are going to be some other cards that you could go out as a catcher. I mean, even like Salvador Perez, I absolutely love just his live series card. And then you've got Piazza, who you'll see in a little while in another video. Very easy to obtain early on, so I just don't think that you want to waste a spot on Joe Mauer as a catcher. Then we've got one of the new cards, the MLB 08, The Show's Ryan Howard. And this is a strong option. It's going to depend. If you have any shot at completing the collections, the live series collections, guys, I probably wouldn't take Ryan Howard because obviously Frank Thomas is going to be there. Ryan Howard is a phenomenal option here. He's got great power against righties and good against lefties. His contact isn't bad. And if you power him up using the parallel system, and if you don't know what the parallel system is, basically you collect XP by using the card, and he will go up overall. 5 overall points to every single attribute if you max him out, but that's obviously very tough to do. It takes a long time, but that's still there. Like, you have to incorporate that is a possibility. So Ryan Howard is a strong option, lefty from the plate. It's exciting that he is in the game. And then you've got David Ortiz. Honestly, I would probably rather try out Ryan Howard, again, a lefty first baseman that he's got to play first base. That being said, I loved David Ortiz's swing in last year's game, and this is just a homer pick for me. I love David Ortiz and the Boston Red Sox, so I'm going to go with David Ortiz here. Again, I think it's a safe option for first base. I know that he is going to absolutely crush even lefties as well, but yeah, just a very good card all the way around. I still, if you're just starting the game out, I would still take Ryan Howard over Ortiz. Then you've got Andrew McCutchen, pure outfielder, good contact against lefties, and lower on the power scale, and average speed and fielding. I think that there's so many good outfielders out there, guys. Unless you're a Pirates fan, I probably would avoid Andrew McCutchen. He's probably one of the lower tiered ones that you can get. Miguel Cabrera is an interesting one. So he can play left field, right field, first, and third base, and he has got great hitting stats. He's obviously very slow, and his fielding is pretty mediocre. That being said, his swing is usually pretty slow, guys. I used his card last year multiple times, and even his higher up attributed ones, they just don't really do as well as you would expect. But great hitting stats all the way around, can play multiple positions. This is still a very good card. Josh Donaldson next for MLB The Show 16. I love this idea in terms of the cover athletes, by the way. I just want to say that. And again, decent contact at 75, 77. Only plays third and first. I'm not going to lie, better options here that you can choose from. Aaron Judge comes in next from MLB The Show 18. Really good power against righties and lefties. Can play all three outfield spots and a very good arm. He's very good at fielding and 66 speed, which isn't awful. I will say this, guys, about Aaron Judge. His strike zone is so big because he is 6'7", and once you get out of All-Star and you play Hall of Fame, Aaron Judge cards you will not see because it is so hard to cover the entire plate, and contact becomes much more important. So the guys that are just pure power hitters early on for players that are brand new, I think they are important because you're not going to get many hits. So when you do, you want to give yourself the option to put it into the parking lot, and Aaron Judge definitely has that ability. Again, just going to play the outfield though, so I think that there are better options here for you. Another pure outfielder is MLB The Show's 19's Bryce Harper. 99 power against righties, 76 against lefties, a little bit better speed and decent fielding, but the attributes are just kind of all over the place. I will say I've loved Bryce Harper cards in terms of his swing and the ability, just to absolutely mash the ball. But again, much like the other cards, I think outfielders, it's tough in this release because there are so many good outfielders at launch in the face of the franchise set, as well as just live series cards. Strong option here would be Javi Baez because he plays shortstop, obviously, but also has second, third, left, and right field eligibility. That's important because you want to make a selection that will give you the best chance at longevity to keep this card in your lineup. You don't want a card that is going to be replaced 3 days in, just because he can only play one position, a lot like Ortiz or Ryan Howard, but those are very good cards. That being said, he's got great defense with 89 fielding and 93 arm, so just a very good there. Decent speed as well. Good power against lefties, good contact against lefties. Obviously doesn't hit righties as well, but he does give you that flexibility in the infield, and I think that there's a lot less options there that you can choose from, so Javi Baez isn't a bad selection. And then I'll be honest, Fernando Tatis from MLB The Show 21 is probably the best selection that you can make if you are looking purely on getting the most bang for your buck. First of all, shortstop, second, third, and then all three outfielder spots eligible. His swing is always insanely good. He always plays higher than his attributes. He is absolutely able to crush the ball. Power against righties and lefties is very good. Obviously against righties at 105. Great arm stat at 95 overall and 89 speed. Just very, very good all the way around. This is probably the best option that you can make in terms of just getting the most bang from your buck from the cover athlete pack. All right, guys, so the one thing I also want to point out is that you can collect all of them. So if you collect 12, you will get this 96 MLB The Show 11 Joe Mauer card, and this thing is incredible. Easily the best catcher in the game, and would give you a significant advantage, guys. But each of these cards is going for about 35,000 stubs. So you are obviously going to be paying about 400,000 stubs, or probably more, to get Joe Mauer early. And obviously, for someone that isn't spending stubs on the game or real life money, don't worry about that. And you're probably only going to get one. And you could probably even sell it if you wanted to be honest. Like, you could sell right out of the gate if you don't like any of the ones that you have. Maybe you pack a really good option. That's why I think getting Fernando Tatis is probably the best, because there's so many options that you can play in. But just wanted to point that out, guys. That is only able if you collect all 12 of them. And obviously, that's very tough to do early on, so I wouldn't worry about it. But Fernando Tatis would be, in my opinion, the best option that you can take. All right, guys, on to the Takashi Okazaki pack. And this is the 5 95, incredible card art pack that you can choose from. And you see here that I took Randy Johnson. Now, I will say this one is tough because just again on what my thought process on the game. So what I think you should do is obviously rip all of your packs, and when I ripped all of my packs, there wasn't a lot of players, or the players that I could select from other than Randy Johnson, like the position players. I had really strong options there, and I just didn't know they had good pitching. That's why I took Randy Johnson. That being said, he's got 99 on the fastball, which is obviously incredible. He's got a good slurve at 83, and then you look at the control, 89 and 94 on the slider. And the pitch break on the fastball and slider is also max. This is a nasty card. His K per 9 is 99, very important. Hits per 9 at 80 is a little bit lower, but this is a very, very strong starter that you can get right out of the gate. Unless you are dead set and you know you're going to be completing the collections early on, I think that you're okay with taking Randy Johnson because obviously his 99 is the Live Series collection reward. That being said, we'll go through the other options here. We've got the 88 Chase Utley. Again, card art is incredible. Good fielding, decent speed. This is a very well-rounded card. Can play second and first, but I just think that there are stronger options for you. And again, just doesn't have a lot of power in that bat when you consider the other options available. We've got Vladdy Guerrero, 94 contact, 81 contact against lefties, and then the power in the 70s for lefties and righties. Great arm at 97, very good right fielder, and he can play left and center. Well-rounded card, and I love his swing last year, so something to think about there if you do need an outfielder. Ricky Henderson is also a really good option if you are someone who has spent a lot of money on the game, or you are going to grind the game to the 10th degree. Ricky Henderson is an interesting option because no matter what, he could be a bench bat for you whenever you are looking to just get the fastest player on. Late in the game, you need to steal or you need to make sure that he gets home from second, or even first. Ricky Henderson would be a nice option there. His fielding is okay, and his hitting stats are a little meh, but you're going to get a lot of longevity because no matter what, that speed and steal just so good, and that's obviously going to be tough to find later in the game or as the game goes along. All right, but my selection I think you guys should take would be Mickey Mantle. Unless your outfield is stacked, you ripped your packs and you have some insane cards here, Mickey Mantle would be the option. The reason being is the fact that he's a switch hitter. Very good swing, and he's got very good hitting stats, 94 power against righties. Lefties, he's got the contact up to 86. And he's a decent fielder, as well as 82 speed. It's very well-rounded, and again, that switch hitter gives you a lot of flexibility. I loved his swing last year. I think this is probably the safest pick with Mickey Mantle, just because, he could be in your lineup for quite some time. So if you don't want to go Randy Johnson, I'd probably go Mickey Mantle. All right, so here is my day one lineup so far. I was able to pack the 95 Rookie of the Year Albert Pujols, which I will be debuting on my stream, and I will have a video showing exactly how good this card is early in the game. I cannot wait, yeah, it's going to be really fun. My subathon, if you are watching this as the day that it launches, I'm doing a subathon. I will be going until the subathon timer runs out on Twitch, twitch.tv/nosleeves12. I hope to see you guys there, and it's going to be a blast, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I'll see you next video. Have a good one. Let's go. Come on. Yo. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. We got him. Yes, sir. The Rookie of the Year, 95, Albert Pujols. Welcome to the squadron.